Hold on to your hats, folks. Keefe D's son is throwing some major shade at Diddy. He's claiming that Diddy's not just trying to ruin his dad's life, but might be gunning to end it altogether. Sounds like a plot twist straight out of a drama series, right? It's like the bad boy has become the bad guy in this family feud. So grab your popcorn and let's dive into the juicy details of this explosive drama. Hey everyone, how's it going? Buckle up because we've got some seriously juicy drama to dive into today. It looks like things are heating up for Keefe D, and his son is coming out with some pretty explosive claims about none other than Diddy. Yep, you heard that right. Keefe D's son is saying that Diddy might have put a hit out on his dad. Now, if you're scratching your head wondering what a green light means, don't sweat it. We got you. Basically, it means someone's given the signal for something bad to go down. So, here's the lowdown. Keefe D's son is out here accusing Diddy of trying to take out his father. And he's not just throwing shade, he's implying that Diddy's got the money to make this whole situation go really sideways, really fast. He's convinced that Diddy's involvement has everything to do with some old beef, and it's pretty clear that he believes Diddy is behind a lot of this chaos. But wait, it gets crazier. There's also talk that the prosecutors might be using Diddy's name to put more pressure on Keefe D. Allegedly, they're throwing Diddy into the mix to make Keefe D crack and spill some major tea. It's like they're trying to squeeze him into flipping on Diddy to save his own skin. Here's where it gets even messier. TMZ and other outlets have been saying Diddy had nothing to do with it, but why is his name popping up so much in court documents? Diddy's name has been mentioned 77 times, and the investigators seem to be digging hard for something. Keefe D's son is not just worried about his dad, he's freaking out about his whole family's safety. He's hearing rumors that the Bloods might come after them because of all this. And it doesn't stop there. Diddy's name keeps coming up and it's making everything super tense. Keefe D's son feels like the prosecutors are twisting things to make his dad look guilty and to force him to testify against Diddy. It seems like they're hoping that by bringing Diddy into the mix, they'll make Keefe D crack under the pressure. Keefe D's son is even worried that this whole mess could put his family in serious danger. He's saying that the prosecutors are making things worse by bringing Diddy's name into the spotlight. He's concerned that the constant mention of Diddy is increasing the risk for his family, especially since Diddy's got deep pockets and could potentially make things disappear. In a recent interview, Dwayne Jr. spoke out about his dad's safety while he's locked up at the Clark County Detention Center in Vegas. He shared that a buddy from the Bloods in LA warned him that his dad could be in serious trouble. He's also pissed off because he feels like Chief Deputy District Attorney Mark DiGiacomo misinterpreted his conversation with his dad, making it look like they were making threats to a witness when they were actually talking about their own safety. Dwayne Jr. explained, "I told my dad that there was a green light on us, meaning we're at risk. My dad was confused at first, but I had to make it clear. I'm not a gang member, so why would I put a green light on someone and not face any consequences?" He went on to say that things only got sketchy after his dad got arrested. Before that, they had no issues. Now, people think Keefe D is the one responsible for Tupac's death, which has led to this whole green light situation. So Dwayne Jr. is pretty bummed that his grandpa, Keefe D, can't get out on bail to spend time with his son, Dwayne III. He said, "I hope he gets out. They're treating him like he's already guilty." As for Keefe's health, especially after his cancer battles, Dwayne Jr. said, "He's all right." He's also cool with his comments being out there for everyone to see. Dwayne Jr.'s complaints are heating things up between his dad, who his lawyer calls the Godfather of Compton, and the prosecutors. They've labeled Keefe as a danger to the community and are questioning whether he's really left his gangster days behind. During a bail hearing, Judge Kearney had doubts about Keefe's lifestyle and ongoing connections to gangs. For the last 5 years, Keefe's been out there bragging about his criminal past, from drug dealing to being the big shot in Tupac's 1996 killing. Keefe's lawyer, Carl Arnold, argues that Keefe's turned over a new leaf and is just living off his old infamous reputation. But in January, prosecutor Mark DiGiacomo claimed that a phone call between Keefe and his son hinted at a possible death order for people who might testify against him. In gang lingo, a green light means it's open season to kill someone. Judge Kearney was told that the FBI had to move a witness to a secret spot after hearing the remarks from that phone call. The call was just over 2 minutes long, and in it, Dwayne Jr. has a jumbled chat with his dad. He tells Keefe to call him the next morning and says there's some shit going on. Dwayne Jr. then mentions that there's a green light on them, which gets a confused reaction from Keefe. DiGiacomo argues that the phone call suggests potential criminal activity. He claims Keefe might have helped spread a list of 39 gang members who gave info to the cops and could testify. One of those witnesses, Devontae Lee, got money from the FBI to move for his safety. DiGiacomo points out that even if Keefe doesn't personally give a green light, his gang followers could still act on it. He believes Keefe is deeply entrenched in gang culture and still poses a serious threat. According to DiGiacomo, Keefe doesn't need to issue a direct order. Just his presence and influence are enough to put people at risk. This all comes right after Keefe blew up in court, slamming the prosecutors over their use of his alleged confessions about Tupac's murder. He stared them down and called them ugly on the inside, referring to Chief Deputy District Attorneys Mark DiGiacomo and Binu Palal. So, things are definitely getting intense. Now, let's quickly go over the whole Pac situation and see where we stand at right now. The drama around Tupac's case just got even crazier. Fans have been itching for justice for Tupac for nearly 28 years, and it seemed like we were finally making some headway when Keefe D got busted in September 2023. This guy's been bragging for ages about being behind the hit on Tupac, so it felt like justice was finally on the horizon. But now, things don't seem so clear-cut. Keefe D's memoir, Compton Street Legend, spills all the details about that fateful night Tupac was shot. He claims that Diddy offered him $1 million to take out Tupac and Suge Knight. According to Keefe, he passed the gun to his nephew Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, who did the dirty work. Keefe even said that if Tupac had been on his side, he would have fired the gun himself. Keefe's been repeating these claims for years, on YouTube, in documentaries, and even in police confessions when he thought he was untouchable. In one LAPD confession, he seemed totally unbothered, laughing about how close the ambulance was to him. Journalists have been covering Keefe's confessions since 2018 and have been pushing the Las Vegas cops to act. They kept saying the case was still active, but it felt like nothing was happening. Even former LAPD detective Greg Kading, who had been on the case, was urging the Vegas cops to arrest Keefe. For years, it looked like the case might stay unsolved forever. But then, in the summer of 2023, things started heating up. Word got out of a secret grand jury looking into whether Keefe should be indicted. At the same time, there was a raid on a house in Henderson, Nevada, connected to Keefe. In the grand jury proceedings, jurors heard hours of testimony from ex-cops, detectives, coroners, and people connected to Keefe and Tupac. They even saw graphic photos of Tupac's body. After all that, they decided there was enough to prosecute Keefe. It was clear that a lot of the witnesses were just repeating secondhand info. One even claimed that a different gangster named Big Dre was the shooter, not Orlando. So maybe this case isn't as straightforward as it seemed. Keefe was arrested on September 30th, 2023 at his home, and we got some body cam footage of him bragging to the cops even while he was cuffed. He called it the biggest case in Las Vegas history. But since then, Keefe's bravado has faded. He's struggling with cancer, dealing with jail life, and can't even come up with bail money. He feels abandoned by his old Crip pals who used to get cash from him. Now, Keefe's defense is arguing that he just made up his involvement in the Tupac case for fame and money. He claims his confessions were all lies, made up to help him with a plea deal for other charges. His lawyer, Carl Arnold, even says Keefe wasn't in Las Vegas the night Tupac was shot. Arnold's hoping they can use Suge Knight, who's the only other person from either car still alive, as a key witness. Suge, currently serving time for a hit and run, supposedly saw the shooter and could make or break the case. Suge's said he won't testify, but he's also claimed Orlando wasn't the shooter, which throws another wrench into Keefe's story. If Keefe manages to walk free, will justice for Tupac ever come? So, what do you all think about this whole situation? Do you believe Diddy is really involved, or do you think this is all just a big misunderstanding? People online are definitely making jokes left and right on his account. Diddy is such an unlocked serial killer, but do you think there's more to his involvement? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's dive into this more. Also, do you think Diddy might be working behind the scenes to make sure Keefe D gets silenced? Catch you later, and stay tuned for more updates.